Okay, folks, before I play this video, I just thought maybe I would just mention that, I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression. Okay? I'm all for law and order. Okay? I'm all for, a security system in place for people who can't provide their own security. Okay? I'm not too concerned about anyone really necessarily causing harm to us here, personally, but, we're prepared and we don't necessarily need a security team to come in and save us in certain situations. But I understand the need because there are a lot of other people that don't have the ability to defend themselves properly, and they need a security force and a security team like the police. So I understand that, but we have to be very careful how we move forward in supporting certain situations and certain laws. Because if there's one thing that I've learned, and I know other people have learned, is that in the times of crisis, our Constitution and our personal rights and civil liberties don't mean jack crap to these people in charge of these positions of authority. Okay, they don't give a crap about the Constitution in times of crisis, in times of national emergencies, which we're under several right now. Constitution don't mean shit to these people. So these are the times right now when they will take full advantage. They will take full advantage of, every opportunity to set a precedent for the future in the Constitution, in our constitutional rights and our civil liberties and our freedoms. Look what's already happened with free speech just in the last like 5 to 10 years. And it's been a kind of a slow process for some because some people aren't been really paying attention. They're just slow in general. But to anyone paying attention, you've seen this coming. So I don't want anyone to get the wrong impression. I support a security team and a security force in place that can help protect and serve people that need to be protected and served. And I respect that. But at the same time, not everyone needs it, and mistakes can be made very easily, especially when you start putting AI in control of everything. It's not a matter of doing something wrong and worrying about getting in trouble for it. It's a matter of understanding the progression of our personal rights and freedoms and liberties being stripped away from us slowly. And a lot of people supporting things that they are supporting right now, thinking that it's good. This is good. Let's do it. Let's increase this and increase that level of security around, certain areas and stuff. And we're going to do it for the children. And everyone supporting that doesn't really understand and look back at the wider picture. There has to still be some kind of, control left with we the people. But in times of crisis, they don't care. They really just don't care. And that's, my concern. And I just thought maybe I would put that in there before I upload this following video here. So, please stay alert, folks. Please stay alert. Things are getting pretty thick out here in Nevada, folks. They are introducing drones to patrol over certain areas. And they received a fleet of Cybertrucks. The Las Vegas Metro Police Department will deploy police drones and Cybertrucks in the valley as crime-fighting tools. Sheriff Kevin McMahill announced the plan at Tuesday's State of the Department address, saying that these new technologies aim to reduce crime rates and increase community safety in Las Vegas. 10 larger drones will be deployed over 10 hotspot neighborhoods across the valley. We're way over here in Henderson, so I don't think we'll be seeing any of them. But, if I do, I'll certainly try to record them. But, imagine this. A gunshot goes off. It triangulates where it's at. It gives that info to a drone, and the drone launches off of the police station. An individual will be able to take over the piloting of the drone, and we'll have real-time intelligence to be able to go in there and continue to save human beings and their lives. It's an absolute game changer. But it's not about spying. This is about focusing solely on making our community the vision we're trying to achieve with the safest community in America. Yeah, but it's not about spying. He had to say that, right? He had to say that. You know why he had to say that? Because that's like the first thought in anyone's head that still has the ability to think rationally and to come to logical conclusions on where all of this will eventually lead, okay? Now, apparently, though, the 10 Cybertrucks were donated. It was free. Las Vegas Metro Police Department adds 10 Tesla Cybertrucks to its fleet for free. And some of them will serve as SWAT vehicles with specialized modifications for off-roading. Isn't that special? It's not uncommon for police forces worldwide to adopt flashy, expensive vehicles, often sparking controversy if taxpayer money is involved. In this case, however, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department emphasizes that all 10 Cybertrucks are being donated by an anonymous supporter. An anonymous supporter. Okay. sidestepping any budget-related backlash, sidestepping any public scrutiny as well. I mean, hey, they're free, whatever. According to the department, some of the Cybertrucks will be used by local SWAT teams, and while others will serve as regular patrol cars for Las Vegas police officers. A pair of renderings showcase how the modified Cybertrucks could look. And even though it's hard to stand out in Las Vegas among all the flashing lights and craziness, these Teslas will no doubt turn heads. Yeah, it's interesting that McMahill would mention right off the bat that it's not about spying, though, when it comes to these drones, right? And what's the next step? You know what I mean? And it's interesting now that they're talking about the red light cameras again, because it's been proposed here to put up red light cameras at the red lights and at intersections, but it's been turned down. Red light cameras were banned in Nevada during the 1999 legislative session under a bill sponsored by then State Senator Mark James, Republican, Clark County. James argued that automated cameras should not be used for traffic enforcement, civil liberties, and privacy grounds, based on the objections of some police officers. And the bill passed with bipartisan majorities in both houses that year and was signed into law by then Republican Governor Kenny Gwynn. There have been at least 5 attempts to repeal the ban in 25 years since it was adopted, none successful. And some legislation sought to authorize a pilot program. In 2023, a bill sought to allow cameras for enforcement in school zones, because we got to protect the children. It always starts like that, right? Won't somebody think of the kids? Please put more cameras up all the way around watching us, and make sure that the cameras got facial recognition too. None of the repeal efforts have been successful. However, the idea has some high-profile support, including Governor Lombardo the Starro. Joe Lombardo the Starro. In January, Lombardo, a former Clark County sheriff himself, told Channel 13 that he backs the idea of red light cameras. And this is an interesting story. In today's age, with the ability to use technology and it's being a civil process versus a criminal process, I would support red lights and the enforcement of that, Lombardo said. I'm telling y'all, when I first moved here from Michigan, I was wondering, and I asked my husband, I'm like, where are the red light cameras? Where are the traffic cameras? Because they're all over Michigan. They've been all over Michigan and several other cities, but not in Las Vegas, not in Henderson, not in Clark County. And guess what? I told my husband, it's coming. It's coming. And he's like, no, they'll never approve it. They'll never approve it, he said. Well, guess what? They're approving it. And I saw this kind of shit right here coming already. But what's the next step, really? What is the next step when it comes to the drones in particular, with them launching drones to hotspot neighborhoods, okay? Let's say they put this in place, right? Well, obviously they will, and they are. But, 10 years from now, they'll have some horrific stories where these drones could have saved lives. The drones could have saved lives right? I'm just going to run over a scenario here really quick before I end this video, before I get into too much of a rant and I start cursing like a sailor and offending people, okay? Let's just say these drones are put up there, which we know they're going to be. And we got an incident where actual physical police officers, the human body, are not able to be on location, but there's a drone watching the situation unfold. There's a drone there. And the only thing the drone can do is just watch the situation unfolding. Let's say there's just something horrific going on with somebody doing something where somebody is attacking other people or something, right? This is just a scenario, okay? And all the drone can do is just watch. The drone can't stop it. The drone can't do anything to stop it, because the drone is only capable of overseeing with a watchful eye, right? But it's not there to spy. But anyway, back to the scenario. You have a drone hovering over a situation where there's a crowd of people and there's somebody that's perpetrating baddies on this crowd of people, and nobody's there to stop it, but the drone is there. But what if the drone had the capability of causing harm, we'll say? Like maybe it was armed with something where it could have stopped that bad guy, Could have stopped that bad guy if the drone would have had some kind of armament on it. We could have saved 25 lives. We could have saved lives. If the drone would have been armed, we could have saved lives. I'm telling y'all, it's coming. That's the next step. There's no other place that it could go. When you start putting these things in the air, watching people and watching over neighborhoods and watching for crime, with all of the technology they have with facial recognition and all of that stuff, you're not going to be able to hide anywhere for sure, which, that's pretty much a given already. Most people know you're watched everywhere we go, okay? So the next logical conclusion and the next step to this process of putting these drones in the air is to arm them, okay? That is where we are headed. And it's not just some silly conspiracy that I'm pulling out of my arse here. This is a logical, rational conclusion to make. I'm not just being paranoid, okay? Which I'm always a little bit concerned about everything anyway, and I'm a worrywart. If you want to call me paranoid, whatever, go ahead and call me paranoid. I don't give a crap. But that, to me, is the next logical, rational conclusion that any person with any ability to logically discern information and has been paying attention to history and the way that things go down, the next logical, rational conclusion would be they are going to arm these drones. And now some of you might be sitting there saying, what are you so worried about? If you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't have to worry. If you're not doing anything wrong. No, it really has nothing to do with it, right or wrong. It's that it can be very unsettling because most people, like I said, who still have the ability to logically discern information, okay, know that mistakes happen. And AI is no exception to that. The AI, and I mean, these drones are going to be manned. Once they see something that sets off their little alarm, then an individual will be able to take over the piloting of the drone. So then you have human beings sitting in a room somewhere piloting this armed drone. Okay, what's the next step after that, folks? Okay, and one more thing. I'm going to do another scenario here, another situation here. What's the next logical conclusion that one could come to when and if I should say, let me emphasize, when these drones start making mistakes, misidentifying people, and mistakes being made with these things after they've armed them, okay, in the future, innocent people end up getting harmed because of these things. And they blame it on the AI, right? It's going to be the AI's fault, right? What's the next logical conclusion after that? Think about it. What happens when these drones get hacked, too? You know, that's going to be the next step. That's going to be the next security threat, is that these drones can be hackable. And people can hack the drones and then use the drones to do bad things with them. You know, there's no other conclusion to come to. That's where it's headed. And this is just the start. So I don't know, folks. You have to let me know what you think about Las Vegas deploying these new Cybertrucks that they got for free, and drones, and policing some of our neighborhoods with these drones. Okay, but it's not about spying. It makes me a little bit unsettled. It makes me a little bit uncomfortable. And it isn't because I'm doing anything wrong. It's because I know that mistakes happen and that innocent people get hurt all the time. All the time. And we've just accepted that. Right? I don't know. I don't know if I'm all that comfortable with it, but I can tell you that if I see one in my neighborhood, I'm going to be, having the camera rolling. I'm going to be watching it with the camera and sharing with y'all if they end up coming down in our neighborhood. I don't know. Our neighborhood's not in the red. We're all the way down here in Henderson. So, I don't know. Metro comes down here quite often, though. Very often. At least 2 or 3 times a week, Metro is coming down and doing loops down here in the southeast end of the valley. So let's see. Hopefully we don't see any drones doing things that they shouldn't be doing. But there's just only certain logical conclusions that anyone with any kind of brain function left in their body, in their head, can come to. It's a total police state. Anyway, welcome to the new subscribers, and stay safe and mindful, folks. I'm working on another puzzle right now that's kind of a challenge. It's a 3D type of look puzzle, and it's pretty interesting. The pieces are pretty interesting. I'll be uploading that probably in the next couple of days, too. So anyway, know that I appreciate you and that you matter very much to me.